Hey everyone, welcome to DBC Inc. Live. We are so excited that you're here and we're here. I say we because Dave is going to be in the comments. He's in the airport and he had it arranged where he could actually join us tonight, but the Wi-Fi there is really crackly and so he can't hear very well. So he's going to join us in the comments. If you are joining us in the comments, please do comment. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what you do. Say hi. Let us know who's here tonight. Um, I'm really excited to join you. I'll be by myself, so we're going to keep it short and sweet tonight. If you're watching this on the playback, feel free to comment below. We always love looking back at all the comments and giving them some love. So, yeah, tonight is all about just chatting about books that we have coming. One of the books that has, well, first of all, I should tell you, Dave, the reason he is not here is because he was presenting at the National Consortium of Health and Science Educators, and he just killed it there in Arizona, and they loved him. If you are looking for a speaker, um, let us know. He is amazing. And you can just email Wendy at daveburgessconsulting.com and book him for your event. You will not regret it. It is an experience that will stick with whomever is lucky enough to be in that audience. And you are sure to leave with so many practical ideas that you can take back to the classroom or to your learning setting, whatever it is, that day, the next day, the next week, and for the rest of the year, for the rest of your teaching life. It is that good. I still have Teach Like a Pirate on my desk, even now, even not in the classroom. I just love so many of the ideas and the questions inside there. It keeps you on your toes when you are needing innovative ways to engage your learners. So do not miss out on that. Lisa, welcome. Dave's in the house. Welcome. He did try to join in, but he sounds like he's underwater, and we don't want to do that to you guys. He thought it was my fault. I was telling him it was his fault. Now he knows that it isn't either of our fault. It's LAX's fault, and we're frustrated, but that's okay. We get to hear him in the comments, and I'm sure he'll be going off in there. You've seen him speak twice, Lisa. You're so lucky. He is so. Every time you see him, it's as good as the first time. I feel like I've also seen him several times, and we are international. I saw Nick in there. We need Dave to say, and we have now gone international. I'm so excited that you're here today, Nick. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so tonight I thought I would just jump on here and just share a couple of things. First of all, I also got to travel and speak this week. I was in Virginia, just outside of Richmond, and it was incredible. I will say that I loved working with the alternative educational system. It was like a bunch of teachers in that Richmond area that work with alternative education settings in teaching in those settings, and they were incredible. I just I felt like my people. I was there for 3 hours, and it honestly. I was so disappointed when I looked up the clock and saw I had 30 more minutes. I'm like, 30 more minutes. I want to keep going. And it was crazy because I even said it when it was like 15 minutes out. I was like, I can't believe like we're coming to a close. I feel like I don't want to leave you guys. And they were all like clapping, like they didn't want me to leave either. It was so cute. But so honored to be able to be there, share the Be Real message, the Cannibal Inn message with them, and also encourage them to reach our students. While I was there, Dr. Rucker, who hired me and who is the leader of that group in Richmond, Virginia, said she had just come from a national conference for alternative ed. And one of the things she said that the speaker there, I don't remember his name, but I love this phrase. this quote. He said to them, so often we say for the alt ed teachers that the kids that are in their setting, their learning setting, are lucky because we're giving them a second chance as educators. We're giving them a second chance to learn in a different way. And the leader, the guy that was speaking, he said, are we giving them a second chance or are they giving us a second chance? He said, I prefer to believe that they're giving us a second chance. We failed them the first time by not teaching them in the way that they needed to learn. And we're getting a second chance to educate the students that are in front of us. And I love thinking in that direction just because so often, whatever parameter society has placed upon us, it doesn't matter if it's in the school setting or in the work world or just in life in general, we have these parameters placed upon us that make us believe that something's wrong with us. But the truth is, could it be that something's wrong with the system and the way that we're doing things is not working for that learner, not working for that employee, it's not working for that individual? So we are failing them by continuing to do things the way we've always done it. And I think about this with DBC Inc. Dave started this company. I do these interviews all the time for people that are pitching books. Dave started this company because the traditional model of publishing needed to be disrupted. It was not good for the author. It didn't serve the authors in any way. So he disrupted the system and started a brand new one. He decided that he wasn't going to be a victim of that. And he didn't want anybody else that he could help later down the road to also have to deal with that. And so I think as educators, we need to think like that. We need to remember these students in front of us, the learners in front of us, if it's our employees, our teachers, our staff. Is it that they're giving us a second chance, or do we need to is it that we're giving them a second chance, or is it that I'm all messed up. Whatever. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. I think we need to change our practice. They're giving us a second chance to educate them in the way that they need to be educated. That's what I'm trying to say. And I got a little tongue tied, but it's okay. Another thing I was thinking about as we're just chatting about all of things is the other day I was scrolling through Instagram and I passed up this post by a friend, and it was a quote from Matthew Perry, the Friends actor who passed away of suicide. And it was a picture of him and a quote from Matthew. And it struck me, and I was just like, whoa, like I need to check on him. And so I did. I just reached into DMs, and I normally sometimes I'll just see that and just, oh man, I hope they're doing okay. Just kind of in your head, you're just like, it's just a quote. He didn't say it was for him. He was just like making a quote. But something told me just to check on him in DM. And so I did. And I was like, hey, I just want you to know, like, if you're ever feeling alone or like everything is falling apart or you need a friend in any way, I am a text, a DM away. Let me know. We can go meet for some coffee, have a chat. Just know that you're not alone. And I thought, he might just see that and be like it, or move on with life, say, thank you, I'm doing fine. But he said, hey, would you like to meet up on Wednesday at 8:30 for coffee? I was just like, oh my goodness, yes, of course. I don't even know what I'm doing on Wednesday, but I will cancel everything to do this. And I think that morning we had just the best conversation. Yeah, we talked about life and the way it can weigh us down sometimes. And then we talked about ways to kind of dig ourselves out of a hole. And I love this thought just because there's so many people. I was watching a movie last night called Matthew, he also played. Oh, yes, he did. Oh, I have something else about being 1% better in just a moment. But I love this thought. I watched a movie last night called Gifted. If you never watched it, and you're an educator, I highly recommend watching it. It's really good. It's on Amazon Prime right now, and it was so good. And the little girl's mom committed suicide, and she went to her brother and asked him to talk, and he was too busy. He was trying to go on a date. He's like, "Can you just wait?" Like she had the newborn, the baby, and he's like, "Can we just talk when I get back?" And she was just like, "Whatever, okay." But while he was gone, when he came back, the baby was there and she was gone. And it just reminded me how often people do try to reach out, and many times we kind of just dismiss it because the busyness of life is just going. And I had just had this happen that morning where I met up with my friends, and I was just thinking, when I see these things or I see my colleagues and I see people around me displaying any kind of emotion that they might be struggling, I want to reach out to them. I want to make time for them. It was 1.5 hours of a coffee time, and he felt so much better. And it didn't take it wasn't much for me to switch things around, and I think so often it's not really much of our time, to give to someone else, to help them to know that you're not alone, because there are times where we're facing the same kind of struggles. So, um, on the lines of reaching out to others and reaching out and sharing your love for them, your appreciation for them, that they have a purpose, that you need them here, that the world needs them here. I loved this quote in Be 1% Better. Dave just shared that, how Matthew Perry actually played Ron Clark in the Ron Clark story, the movie. And so, super cool to be able to um, link that up. But also in Be 1% Better, Ron has just tons of 1% ideas of how we can just make our practice or our work world 1% better. And one of the things that really stood out to me, I made a book snap about it recently, was just to support your colleagues' excellence. And he was saying how you could do this right now. Like literally, you could stop listening to me right now, grab your phone and text a colleague and just tell them how amazing they are doing. It's the littlest thing, but it goes a long way. Too often, I feel like the only time we hear from, especially like from our bosses or something like that, this doesn't work for Dave, but for other work worlds, um, you hear when you're doing something wrong. They make sure that you're doing something wrong. But wouldn't it be nice if like your colleagues start to recognize the good things that you're doing, or just highlight something cool that you did that you are just so proud of? Or what about just being a mom, being a teacher, being all the things for everyone? And Nick knows this better than anyone, the phenomenal teacher out there. It's just how often a mom just needs to hear, like, hey, you're crushing it. Like, I just wanted to let you know I notice it. And I'm so grateful for what you do for our students. It's so easy, and it's just 1% of our time, of effort, that makes such a big difference for the person that we send that to. So, if you have the opportunity to share, to reach out to a colleague, I highly recommend sharing that. Just anything that they're doing that's just making you feel like that it's making our place, our work world, our school a better place. So I will not take tons of your time today. I do want to say, if you haven't picked up Be 1% Better by Ron Clark, I highly recommend it. It has so many beautiful, great ideas. Another book I recently picked up, and I was just like reminiscing about how when I first started reading this, was Innovator's Mindset with George Couros. It's probably my first book that I met some of you guys on with the iMOOC chat on Twitter, and then was called Twitter, now X. It's definitely how I met Nick, through Innovator's Mindset. And, this book kind of changed me. It changed the way that I think about any kind of challenge. When stuff feels scary, I really go into it with this is going to be scary, but I'm going to cannonball in and I'm going to learn through the process. And I know I can do this and I'm going to come out stronger, better, learning something, moving forward. And I love how George just puts in here that, you know, if we want to do better, we have to make changes. Like we can't stay the same. Um, I should have got some quotes, but I didn't plan on pulling this one out when I got on here. But there's so many beautiful quotes in here. If you've not picked up Innovator's Mindset or you just haven't read it in a while, highly recommend going back through it, looking at your highlights, sharing some of those pieces out, and reminding yourself to think big, you know? Yes, we make these 1% changes, and over time, all of them make a big impact. But sometimes we just need our minds to be stretched in a way that we aren't just thinking about growth, but we are thinking about innovation. Like, how can we take this and make it into something brand new that's going to change the dynamic of my work world, change the dynamic of my own life. I think even just moving here in Cincinnati was big for me. It was a big choice, and I had to come in with an innovator's mindset. I had to come in thinking my whole entire world is turned upside down. It's going to be so different. It feels like I'm starting from the ground up. But the truth is, you're really not starting from the beginning. You're starting from experience. And then you're just building upon that. And I think that's really what George is talking about. He's not asking us to think in a totally, like, it's not something brand new. We're taking all the things we know and we're building upon that, and we're growing and we're learning and we're changing the dynamics of the things that we do for the people that we serve. And so, highly recommend those two books. It's kind of the ones that have been on my mind lately. I've been trying to drop a card each week for staff members. I love this, Lisa. I love it. And it's the littlest things. Like I used to do that with sticky notes as an instructional coach. And I would go into some of the teachers' classrooms like months later and I would see them stuck to their computer. And I'm like, gosh, like I probably should have considered my handwriting a little bit better. I didn't know it was going to become a permanent poster on here. But no, I'm just kidding. It's just like the littlest things that mean something to them. Be intentional, give praise. Yes, yes, yes. Love that book. Now Cincinnati, would it be the same with I hope so. I hope that's the case. I really love it here. I do. I feel like I'm finally like settling in and learning and growing and learning how to meet new people and build build support system and community around here. So it's been fun, but it has taken an innovator's mindset. I couldn't just come in with just like, you know, I couldn't come in and just stay in my house and do nothing. I had to come in and really think like this is going to be some big change, but it's going to change the way I do life. And it's just going to make me feel like a better person. I'm going to be able to meet new people and grow in ways that I've never been able to grow. So, yeah, that's just a little bit for today. Reach out to people if you notice they're struggling, give them a little love. We could always use a little bit more love in this day and age, and a little goes a long way. Reach out to your colleagues, share the great things that they're doing. Be 1% better. It's going to make everyone feel better, but also the little bit of effort that you give, it can make a really big difference in their lives. And then the last piece is as we go about life, as we go about teaching, as we go about all the things that are on our plate right now, let's keep our mind open to change and open to new things because sometimes it's just a little change, but it really can like help in such a big way. So those are my thoughts for today. I don't know what Dave was going to share, but he was gargling and he didn't get to join us. So he had to go in the comments. I hope you have a wonderful evening. I'm going to let you go a little bit early. And I appreciate all of you for joining in the chat today. Thank you, Kristen. I think it's a hard time of the year for a lot of people. It is. And I think, so often as leaders, especially when we're working with young people all the time, we don't have a lot of adult conversation. And there's moments where you just feel alone, you know, you just feel alone. And so it's nice if another adult's reaching out and seeing the good things that you're doing, or they're reaching out and saying, "Are you okay? Like, I'm here. If you need something, I'm here." And if any of you are struggling, I'm a DM, I'm a text away. Dave also DM, let us know, reach out. We got you. Um, and thanks again for tonight. We'll see you guys next week, same place, same time. Actually, next week we have a webinar. You don't want to miss that with Miss Abbott. You, you definitely want to sign up for that. It'll start sharing on socials for the sign up link on Sunday. So check that out. Check out the Sunday 7. It'll be in there. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night.